Sausage seems simple, right? Ground meat, spices, natural casing. A breakfast staple, a grilling favorite, protein for your family. But pick the wrong package, and what you're really getting is mechanically separated meat, sodium nitrite at maximum levels, and industrial fillers that have nothing to do with actual meat. For families trusting familiar brands or budget shoppers choosing convenient breakfast options, this isn't the quality protein you think it is. It's industrial meat processing disguised as wholesome food. Some brands use meat sources you wouldn't recognize. Others pack in preservatives and fillers at levels that raise serious questions. The most trusted names? Corporate operations prioritizing shelf life over ingredient quality. I've analyzed ingredient labels, USDA reports, and production methods. What I discovered about America's sausage industry will change how you shop for breakfast and dinner. Today, we're exposing 8 sausage brands using questionable ingredients and production methods. Stay until the end, because I'll reveal 2 brands that actually use quality meat and transparent sourcing. 8. Jimmy Dean Sausage. That friendly face on every package, the down-home branding suggests farm-fresh quality and American breakfast tradition. At $3 to $5 per pound, it dominates the breakfast sausage market. Owned by Tyson Foods since 2018, one of the largest industrial meat processors in America. This isn't small-batch artisanal sausage, it's mass production at corporate scale. Check the ingredient list. The first concerning item, mechanically separated chicken. That's not chicken meat as you know it. It's a paste created by forcing bones with attached edible tissue through a sieve under high pressure. The result is a slurry that technically qualifies as meat but bears no resemblance to actual muscle tissue. Contains sodium nitrite as a preservative. While allowed by the USDA, sodium nitrite can form nitrosamines during high-heat cooking, compounds that have raised concerns in multiple studies about long-term consumption. Uses BHA and BHT as preservatives. These synthetic antioxidants are banned in several countries due to ongoing debates about their safety profile. The USDA allows them, but many consumers actively avoid them. Also contains caramel coloring to make the product appear more appealing and appetizing than the actual meat mixture would naturally look. The meat itself comes from industrial farming operations using conventional methods. Animals raised in confinement, fed standard grain-based diets, processed at massive facilities handling thousands of animals daily. For families serving this every weekend believing it's quality breakfast protein, mechanically separated chicken is industrial meat paste, not traditional sausage ingredients. For those trying to avoid synthetic preservatives, BHA and BHT appear right on the label, but many consumers don't know what these abbreviations mean. Farm fresh breakfast marketed. Industrial meat paste delivered. 7. Johnsonville Sausage. The grilling championship sponsor. The tailgate party favorite. The Wisconsin heritage branding suggests quality bratwurst tradition and family recipes. Owned by the Steyer family, still private, but operating at industrial scale, producing millions of pounds annually. This is high-volume manufacturing, not traditional butcher shop methods. The ingredient list reveals corn syrup as the second or third ingredient depending on variety. You're eating sweetened meat. Corn syrup has no place in traditional sausage recipes. It's added to improve browning, enhance flavor appeal, and increase profit margins by reducing actual meat content. Contains monosodium glutamate in several varieties. While MSG is generally recognized as safe by regulators, it's a flavor enhancer added when meat quality alone isn't sufficient to deliver taste. Quality sausage doesn't need MSG. Uses sodium phosphate as a binder and moisture enhancer. Phosphates help the meat hold water, increasing the weight you pay for. You're buying water held in place by chemicals, not pure meat. Also contains natural flavors, an umbrella term that can include dozens of different compounds. Companies aren't required to disclose what's actually in natural flavors. It's a loophole for hiding ingredients. The meat sourcing involves conventional pork from industrial farms using standard confinement practices. Animals receive antibiotics for growth promotion and disease prevention in crowded conditions. The casings are collagen-based, derived from cattle hide and bones, processed with chemicals to create uniform synthetic casings, not traditional natural casings. For backyard grillers who trust the Wisconsin heritage marketing, corn syrup and MSG don't represent traditional bratwurst recipes. For those checking sodium levels, phosphates artificially increase the weight by holding water, meaning you're paying meat prices for added moisture. Championship grilling marketed. Corn syrup and MSG delivered. 6. Bar S Franks and sausages. The budget option. The price leader. At $1 to $2 per pound, it's the cheapest sausage in most stores. That price comes with serious compromises. Owned by Sigma Alimentos, a Mexican-based company, Bar S produces ultra-budget meat products for price-sensitive markets. Quality is not the priority when you're competing on price alone. The ingredient list is shocking: mechanically separated turkey and mechanically separated chicken. You're getting meat paste from 2 different bird species mixed together. This is the lowest cost meat sourcing available. Contains corn syrup just like Johnsonville, but Bar S often lists it even higher in the ingredient order, meaning there's proportionally more sweetener relative to actual meat. Uses textured vegetable protein as a filler and extender. That's processed soy protein added to reduce the amount of actual meat while maintaining bulk. You're paying for soy filler at meat prices. Contains sodium erythorbate, a synthetic antioxidant similar to vitamin C but manufactured industrially. Used to accelerate the curing process and maintain color artificially. Also has maltodextrin, a processed carbohydrate filler that adds bulk without nutritional value. More filler, less meat. The sodium content is extreme, often exceeding 500 milligrams per serving. That's needed to make the low-quality meat mixture palatable and to extend shelf life significantly. For budget-conscious families buying this to stretch grocery dollars, mechanically separated meat mixed with soy protein and corn syrup isn't real sausage. For those watching sodium intake for blood pressure concerns, these products are salt delivery systems designed for maximum shelf stability. Budget meat marketed, meat paste and soy filler delivered. 5. Hillshire Farm smoked sausage. The TV commercial staple, the Go Meat campaign, the familiar rope sausage in every grocery store. The branding suggests quality smoked meat and family dinners. Owned by Tyson Foods, like Jimmy Dean. Same corporate parent, similar industrial production approach, different marketing angle. Contains mechanically separated chicken as a primary ingredient. Again, you're getting meat paste, not traditional sausage meat. This is a pattern across budget and mid-range brands. Uses corn syrup for sweetness and browning enhancement. Traditional smoked sausage doesn't need added sugar. The smoking process naturally develops flavor. Corn syrup is a cost-cutting shortcut. Contains sodium nitrite at levels approaching USDA maximum allowable limits. While legal, these high levels raise questions about why so much is needed. Quality meat preserved traditionally doesn't require maximum preservative levels. Also, has dextrose, another form of added sugar beyond the corn syrup. You're getting multiple sugar sources in what should be a savory meat product. Uses natural smoke flavor instead of actual smoking. This is liquid smoke and chemical compounds sprayed on or mixed into meat to simulate traditional smoking without the time and cost of actual smokehouses. The meat comes from industrial poultry and pork operations using conventional confinement farming methods. Animals processed at high-speed facilities focused on throughput, not quality. For families using this in quick dinners believing they're getting smoked meat, liquid smoke flavoring isn't the same as traditional smoking methods. For those concerned about nitrite levels, maximum allowable amounts suggest preservation is prioritized over ingredient quality. Traditional smoked sausage marketed. Mechanically separated chicken with liquid smoke delivered. 4. Eckrich smoked sausage. Another Smithfield Foods brand, part of the massive WH Group empire. The playful marketing and affordable pricing mask industrial production realities. Like Hilscher, owned by major meat processing conglomerate. When a few corporations control most brands, production methods become standardized across different labels. Contains mechanically separated turkey in many varieties. Third brand in a row using meat paste as primary protein. This is industry standard at this price point, not an exception. Uses modified food starch as a binder and filler. This is processed starch added to hold water and reduce meat content. You're buying starch and water at meat prices. Contains autolyzed yeast extract, which functions similarly to MSG as a flavor enhancer. It's a way to add umami flavor without listing MSG on labels. Same effect, different name. Also has potassium lactate and sodium diacetate as preservatives. These extend shelf life significantly, but are synthetic additives many consumers actively try to avoid. The sodium content is extreme, regularly exceeding 600 milligrams per serving in some varieties. That's more than 25% of daily recommended limits in a single small serving. The meat sourcing involves conventional farming with animals raised in standard industrial conditions. Speed of production takes priority over animal welfare or meat quality considerations. For quick meal planners grabbing familiar packages, modified food starch and autolyzed yeast aren't traditional sausage ingredients. For sodium-conscious consumers, these products are formulated for extreme shelf stability, which requires excessive salt levels. Family-friendly sausage marketed. Industrial meat with excessive sodium delivered. 3. Bryan Foods smoked sausage. Another Sara Lee / Hilscher Farms subsidiary, now owned by Tyson. Different label, same corporate production system, similar ingredient compromises. The ingredient pattern continues. Mechanically separated chicken, corn syrup, sodium nitrite, and dextrose. At this point, you're seeing the industry standard formula repeated across multiple brands. Contains sodium phosphates to enhance water retention. These chemicals allow the meat to absorb and hold more water, artificially increasing weight and profit margins while diluting actual meat content. Uses artificial smoke flavoring instead of traditional smoking methods. The smoked descriptor on the label refers to chemical flavoring, not actual smoke exposure. Also contains isolated soy protein as a filler and binder. More plant protein replacing actual meat protein while maintaining the appearance and texture consumers expect. The casing is artificially colored to appear natural. Real casings vary in color. Uniform coloring indicates synthetic processing and dye application. The meat comes from the same industrial supply chains as other Tyson brands. Conventional farming, high-volume processing, standardized formulations across product lines. For consumers choosing this, believing they're getting variety from other brands, corporate consolidation means similar products with different labels. For those reading ingredient lists carefully, the pattern of mechanically separated meat, corn syrup, and multiple preservatives appears across most budget options. Traditional smoked sausage marketed. Corporate formula with artificial smoke delivered. 2. Oscar Mayer Weiners. The iconic jingle, the childhood nostalgia, the Wienermobile. The branding is so strong, people forget to check what's actually inside. Owned by Kraft Heinz, one of the largest processed food companies globally. Oscar Mayer represents industrial food production at its most corporate and formulaic. The ingredient list starts with mechanically separated turkey and mechanically separated chicken. Not one meat source, but multiple types of meat paste combined for lowest cost. Contains corn syrup and dextrose for sweetness. Hot dogs shouldn't be sweet, but added sugars improve consumer acceptance and reduce manufacturing costs. Uses sodium nitrite for preservation and that characteristic hot dog color. The bright pink color consumers expect comes from chemical preservation, not meat quality. Also contains sodium phosphate to hold moisture, increasing weight through water retention rather than actual meat content. Contains sodium ascorbate and sodium erythorbate as preservatives and color fixatives. Multiple synthetic additives working together to create shelf-stable product. Uses natural flavors to mask the taste of low-quality meat sources. If the meat tasted good naturally, flavor enhancers wouldn't be necessary. The sodium content is extreme, often 500 to 600 milligrams per single hot dog. For children eating these regularly, that's excessive sodium intake from a single food item. For parents serving these to kids based on nostalgic brand recognition, mechanically separated meat paste and corn syrup aren't quality nutrition. For those concerned about children's sodium intake, one hot dog provides a significant portion of daily limits for a small child's body weight. American Classic marketed, mechanically separated meat paste delivered. 1. Ballpark Franks. The baseball stadium standard? The official hot dog of many sports venues. The all-American branding hides the reality of what you're actually eating. Owned by Tyson Foods. Again, major corporate consolidation means a few companies control most sausage and hot dog brands using similar production methods. Contains the now familiar combination: mechanically separated chicken, corn syrup, sodium nitrite, and multiple phosphates. The pattern repeats because it's the industrial formula for maximum profit margins. Uses potassium lactate and sodium diacetate for extended shelf life. These allow the product to sit in warehouses and on store shelves for extended periods without spoiling. Contains flavoring as a vague ingredient. Unlike natural flavors, just flavoring can include artificial compounds not required to be disclosed specifically. Also has sodium erythorbate, autolyzed yeast extract, and maltodextrin. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment, not a meat product. The casings are cellulose-based, which means wood pulp derivatives processed into synthetic casings. These are removed before eating but indicate how far from natural the product has become. The meat sourcing involves the cheapest available poultry and pork from industrial operations. Quality control focuses on food safety compliance, not ingredient quality or animal welfare. For families buying these for summer cookouts trusting the Stadium Association, industrial meat paste with wood pulp casings represents the opposite of quality grilling. For those believing stadium food represents American tradition, Ballpark proves that tradition has been replaced by corporate cost optimization. All-American hot dog marketed. Industrial formula with synthetic casings delivered. Check your refrigerator and freezer now. If you see Jimmy Dean, Johnsonville, Bar S, Hillshire Farm, Eckrich, Bryan, Oscar Mayer, or Ballpark, understand what you're actually feeding your family. These aren't traditional meat products. They're industrial formulations designed for maximum profit margins using mechanically separated meat, corn syrup, and chemical preservatives. But real sausage exists. Two brands actually use whole muscle meat, natural spices, and transparent ingredient lists. Applegate Naturals. Finally, a brand that treats sausage like actual food, not an industrial meat paste delivery system. This company built its reputation on transparency and quality ingredients. Certified humane raised meat in many product lines. Third-party verification that animals are raised with higher welfare standards than conventional industrial farming. No mechanically separated meat. Ever. The label says, chicken sausage, it's made from actual chicken meat, not paste forced through sieves under pressure. No nitrites or nitrates added. Uses celery powder as a natural preservation method. While celery powder naturally contains nitrates, the company doesn't add synthetic sodium nitrite at maximum allowable levels. No artificial preservatives like BHA, BHT, sodium erythorbate, or synthetic phosphates. The ingredient list is readable and recognizable. No added hormones or antibiotics. Animals raised without routine antibiotic use or growth-promoting hormones. Verified through their sourcing standards. Uses natural spices and seasonings you can identify and pronounce. No natural flavors loopholes hiding dozens of undisclosed compounds. Available at most major grocery stores including Whole Foods, Target, and conventional supermarkets. Pricing is higher, typically $6 to $9 per pound, but reflects actual quality meat costs. The taste is noticeably different. You can taste actual meat flavor, not just salt and chemical preservatives. The texture resembles real ground meat formed into sausage, not a homogenized paste. For families wanting to avoid mechanically separated meat and synthetic preservatives, Applegate provides transparent labeling and verified standards. For those with children, removing excess sodium and synthetic additives from regular breakfast foods makes a measurable difference in overall diet quality. For consumers who've only tasted industrial sausage, Applegate will show you what sausage tastes like when it's made from actual meat. Higher price point, but you're paying for whole muscle meat, not water held in place by phosphates and industrial fillers. Pedersen's Natural Farms. Small family-owned company that never sold out to corporate consolidation. 4 generations focused on quality over scale, transparency over marketing. USDA Organic certified for their organic line. Verified no synthetic pesticides or GMO feed in the animal's diet. Third-party organic certification, not just marketing claims. No sugar added to any variety. Read that again. No corn syrup, no dextrose, no hidden sugars. Just meat and spices like sausage was made for hundreds of years. No nitrites or nitrates, even from natural sources. Preserved through old-fashioned methods, quality meat, proper refrigeration, and faster consumption timelines. Uncured means actually uncured, not uncured, but we used celery powder, which contains natural nitrates. Pedersen's commitment to truly uncured products is unique in the industry. Humanely raised pork from small family farms using traditional farming methods. Not organic certification, but verified humane practices and pasture access. Simple ingredient lists: pork, water, sea salt, spices. That's it. You can count the ingredients on one hand. Compare that to the 20+ ingredient lists on industrial brands. Available at natural food stores, online through their website, and increasingly in conventional grocery stores as demand grows. Pricing is premium, $8 to $12 per pound, depending on variety. The texture is different because it's not pumped full of water and held together with phosphates. It's denser, meatier, more substantial. It cooks differently because it's actual meat, not engineered product. The flavor is clean. You taste pork and spices, not salt and preservatives. For people accustomed to industrial sausage, this tastes mild at first because your palate adjusts to lower sodium over time. For families committed to removing processed ingredients from their diet, Pedersen's represents the gold standard in commercial sausage. For those managing blood pressure, Drastically lower sodium without chemical preservatives makes this suitable for restricted diets. For anyone who wants to know exactly what they're eating, Pedersen's labels list every ingredient without hiding behind vague terms like natural flavors or spices. Yes, it costs more, but you're paying for actual meat raised humanely, processed without chemicals, and sold by a family company that hasn't compromised for corporate profit margins. And there you have it. From Jimmy Dean's mechanically separated chicken to Ballpark's industrial formula, we've exposed how major sausage brands prioritize cost reduction over ingredient quality. Corporate mega processors use the same formula across multiple brands: mechanically separated meat paste, corn syrup for sweetness, maximum preservatives for shelf life, and chemical fillers to reduce actual meat content. Recognizable brand names don't guarantee quality ingredients. In fact, corporate consolidation means a few companies own most brands, using similar industrial formulas with different labels. You now understand the difference between industrial meat processing and real sausage made from whole muscle meat. Choose brands that use transparent sourcing, simple ingredients, and humane farming practices. If this investigation changed how you'll shop for sausage, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another food industry investigation. We've got more exposés coming your way, from lunch meats to frozen dinners, all designed to help you make informed choices for your family's health. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay healthy, and keep rising.